Ever seen the 1952 version of The Adventures of Superman? For some, those were the good old days, and the pure genius and incredible talent of the actors was something that got every single fan excited. However, the fact that there was a change in cast for the role of Lois Lane raises a lot of eyebrows. But no one really knows for sure why that was. We will address it here. But first, we must understand her journey, the birth of a starlet. Born in the sizzling heart of Wichita Falls, Texas, as the enchantingly named Gypsy Ann Evarts Stell, Phyllis Coates had a Hollywood destiny that shimmered brighter than a Texas sunset. But it was not until her teenage years that the start of her life began. In search of greener pastures and a better life, she and her family packed their dreams and embarked on a wild adventure to Hollywood. They had lofty plans and ideas that would take their family to greater heights. Originally, her parents wanted her to attend UCLA, but fate had a different star-studded twist in store, and it all came playing out in a chance meeting that would change her life forever. It was in a Hollywood and Vine restaurant, bustling with the energy of showbiz dreams, when suddenly destiny waltzed into Phyllis's life in the form of none other than Ken Murray. It was a chance encounter, a meeting of cosmic proportions, and it sent shockwaves through her journey. In the blink of an eye, she found herself cast in the dazzling world of Murray's vaudeville extravaganza. And just like that, he took an interest and liking to her, and soon she began her ascent to fame, first as a chorus girl, hoofing it alongside fellow hopefuls under the neon lights. But this Texan dynamo had her sights set higher. With fiery determination and talent to spare, she ascended from chorus lines to center stage, dazzling audiences with her skits. The spotlight beckoned, and Phyllis answered with a radiant smile. She knew that her dream was to make it to the silver screen, and she'd do anything to get there. Despite all the hurdles life threw her way, she braced herself and dipped her toes into anything that came her way. First, she joined forces with the legendary showman Earl Carroll and set off on a whirlwind tour with the USO, bringing joy and laughter to the troops serving their nation. It was a star-spangled journey filled with unforgettable moments. Then finally she found herself in the world of motion pictures, landing bit parts in films like Smart Girls Don't Talk, where she sizzled as the cigarette girl in 1948, and My Foolish Heart in 1949. The silver screen welcomed her with open arms, and she was here to stay. Then, in 1949, her destiny took another delightful turn. Warner Brothers came calling, offering her a starring role in the Joe McDoakes series of comedy shorts. Phyllis stepped into the shoes of Alice McDoakes, the charming and vivacious leading lady, lighting up the screen. But in 1951, one of her most famous roles came knocking. How she got the role. It was the spring of 1951 when the movie role that would make her even more famous fell on her lap. With a twinkle in her eye, Phyllis took the stage to read for none other than the iconic Lois Lane. Her audition, in her own words, seemed like just another routine act in the grand theater of dreams. Yet, destiny had already cast its vote, and the casting director saw in her the elusive quality that would bring Lois Lane to life. When she was asked about how she felt auditioning for Lois Lane, she said, "They auditioned a lot of people. I stepped into the audition room, read my lines, and they called me back." The powers that be had seen the spark, the unmistakable essence of Lois Lane, and it was decided in a flash. And so, without missing a beat, the cameras started rolling that very afternoon. Phyllis Coates had donned the mantle of Lois Lane, ready to soar alongside the Man of Steel. Little did she know, she was about to redefine the role. Phyllis's Lois was a revelation, a character with a fierce spirit, unapologetically tough and daring. Her portrayal, some would say, harkened back to the roots of the original Lois from the comic books. She was more than just a pretty face. She was a trailblazer, setting a new standard for women's equality in the 1950s. Why she walked away. The saga of Superman was about to take an unexpected turn. The first series of episodes had been secretly crafted in the hidden depths of 1951, a treasure waiting to be unveiled. But the world would have to wait until 1952 to witness the grand spectacle. As the anticipation grew, behind the scenes, the stage was set for a dramatic twist. A year had danced by, and Bob Maxwell, the magician behind the curtain, was now conjuring magic with Lassie. The fate of Superman's future was hanging by a thread. In a burst of theatrical flourish, enter Whitney Ellsworth, the new mastermind at the helm of the Superman ship. With a flick of his creative wand, he transformed the show, making it lighter, almost comical, and brimming with levity. The winds of change had swept through Metropolis, but as fate would have it, when Ellsworth beckoned Phyllis Coates to don the cape once more for the second season in 1953, the stars didn't align as they once did. Phyllis, a force of nature in her own right, was facing personal issues. A sick child tugged at her heartstrings, and she had embarked on a promising pilot project with the illustrious Jack Carson and Alan Jenkins, courtesy of MCA. Yet, in the depths of her heart, Phyllis believed that Superman was losing the very magic that had ignited her passion. The show had lost some of its imaginative spark, its production value dwindling like a fading star. It was a heart-wrenching crossroads. The disappointment was palpable. Whitney Ellsworth, with a glint in his eye, offered Phyllis a salary nearly 5 times what she had earned in the first season. He practically insisted that she stay, and the allure of the Man of Steel beckoned. But in the heart of Phyllis Coates, a decision was forged. The call of the pilot project with Jack Carson and Alan Jenkins was too enticing to resist. Phyllis's gamble was cast, and she chose to bid farewell to her iconic role as Lois Lane. Little did she know, the path she had chosen would be fraught with unforeseen twists. Sadly, the pilot she had embarked upon did not find its way to television glory, leaving her at a crossroads once more. The aftermath. Fast forward from the Superman era, and you'll find Phyllis Coates blazing her trail through the dazzling realms of TV, B-movies, and thrilling serials courtesy of Republic Studios. This Hollywood dynamo was a force to be reckoned with, leaving her indelible mark on the silver screen. From Canyon Ambush in 1952, where she shared the screen with none other than the dashing Johnny Mac Brown, an action-packed adventure that had audiences on the edge of their seats. Then came Jungle Drums of Africa in 1952, where she teamed up with Clayton Moore, best known as the legendary Lone Ranger. The silver screen sizzled with their chemistry. But apparently, she was just getting started because Panther Girl of the Congo in 1954 showcased Phyllis Coates as a fearless heroine. And let's not forget Girls in Prison in 1956 and I Was a Teenage Frankenstein in 1957, where she added layers of intrigue to her versatile repertoire. She even shared the spotlight with her former co-star Noel Neill in the film Invasion USA in 1956. Over the years, Phyllis continued to grace both film and television with her presence. From Baby Maker in 1970 to A Whisper Kills in 1988, she was a timeless star, always ready to captivate audiences. But in a captivating twist, 1994 marked her return to the world of Superman. In the first season finale episode of Lois and Clark, she stepped into the role of Ellen Lane, the mother of Terry Hatcher's Lois Lane. The episode, titled The House of Luthor, left viewers hanging on the precipice of Lois's decision to marry Lex Luthor. Phyllis Coates brought her signature charm to the show, rekindling her connection with the iconic character. However, in the years following her adventures on The Adventures of Superman, Phyllis Coates became a bit of an enigma. She shied away from interviews about the series and the legendary George Reeves, appearing only sparingly at conventions and signings. Her legacy remained shrouded in mystery, a testament to her timeless allure and the indelible impact she made on the world of entertainment. But Phyllis Coates and Adventures of Superman is not the only interesting story to explore. Remember that nude motorcycle girl in Vanishing Point? Check out her story next.